Just a quick pause. This video is made for entertainment purposes only. Nothing in this video is or should be considered financial advice. I am not a financial advisor. Thank you very much. Welcome back to the No Limit Crypto channel. So in this video we are looking at Cardano. We are gonna take a look at what might happen in Cardano next week. So if you enjoy these daily Cardano and other cryptocurrency videos, please consider liking and subscribing. That helps me out massively. So let's get right into the chart. Let's look at where we are right now. We're forming this kind of a descending triangle, obviously a bearish pattern, so we have to be aware of a downside. But we are also right here, we are finding some support, or this support line right here. We're finding support around the 50-day SMA, which is this yellow line right here. And then we have the 50-day EMA at the same level. We found nice support at this 50-day EMA, even better than the SMA because the SMA is still moving upwards. So the EMA is like we found support there, and now we're finding support at it right now. So we have strong levels of support. We can see that from the 50-day SMA, Cardano has reacted to it many times. Right here as resistance, as support, right here as support, right here as support, right here. So it has been a strong line of support for us. And right here we have the 50-day EMA, which is, we found resistance there, right there too. I think this was the same level, pretty much the same level where we had the 50-day SMA too. Found strong resistance right there, strong support right here, found support right here. So Cardano is known to react to the 50-day SMA and EMA a lot. So that is a possible support level, might tell us that we are gonna move up from here and we are still gonna be in an uptrend, which could then mean that this bearish pattern still breaks to the upside. Let's look at the pattern right here. So we have a pretty clear bearish or a descending triangle. It's pretty hard to chart this down where we have these wicks, but I think we have found some sort of support around the 235 level and we have been moving down. But what we can see most clearly is that the volatility is going down, which then means that we are loading up for a larger move to some direction. And we can see it on the Bollinger Bands. I don't use Bollinger Bands as a trading strategy, but we can see that when Bollinger Bands tighten up, that is when we start making larger moves. We're like loading up. So that's basically what means, like the volatility goes down. We are just loading up for a large move to some direction. So it's pretty hard to say about this exact one where we are going. So we are going to take a look at both sides where we might find support if we break it to the downside, and where we could be going if we break this trend line to the upside. So let's start with the downside. Not that I think that it's more likely, but it seems like a natural way to take a look at these charts. You know, take a look at your surroundings and where you might find support. So if we break it to the downside, I think the first level of support might come in at $2.20. I don't think we are going to find support right here actually. I'm going to explain to you later because there's nothing really confluencing with this level. Yeah, so there's nothing really confluencing with this level, exact level at $2.20. I think we are more likely to find support somewhere on this trend line. So this trend line is a bit clearer on the daily chart. So we have this wick, we have this low right here, and this trend line has been tested in before too, or earlier. So this seems like a solid trend line where we could find support. And then when I have a trend line to look at, I like to look at, do we have some possible other support somewhere else that could confluence with this level? And I think this support, which could be forming from down right here, could work as a support. And now we have two confluencing levels. So I think this is a likely spot that if we break to the downside, we come back down somewhere. It doesn't have to hit exactly right there. It might hit before, not that likely, but it might just be a bit behind, you know, and we make some sort of like little fake out right here that we break, but then we still find support around there, and then we start moving to the upside. So I think this could be somewhere around like 210 and 205 is gonna be a very likely place where we find support if we were to break to the downside. So that is the first scenario for next week. If we break to the downside, look for support right in this area right here. So this support line right here and this trend line which has been acting as support before too. So what if we move to the upside? What do I think is gonna happen then? Well, it's like we can obviously draw a target. Like these targets are not my favorite thing to do, but they can be good to use as reference points. But like let's say we break it at the end, this is obviously gonna be a new all-time high. But what is the more important thing about this break? Like we're breaking a downward sloping trend line to the upside, which is a huge thing first of all. And the most important thing about that would be that we break this pattern of us making lower highs, like lower high, lower high, lower high. Then we created a higher high for a while, but then we created a double top and lower high, lower high, lower high, and possibly a lower high right here. So we would be breaking that pattern of making lower highs. That is the most important thing. So we could be start to move something like this. I think we're gonna find a lot of resistance around this level. Like 270 to 280 is gonna be a hard level. We created this sort of double top right here and made a massive, like quick and sharp move to the downside. So this is 100% going to be resistance. We see that this level has been significant when we came up here too. And then at this like $2.80 level, that's where we had that sort of market manipulation, massive volume, selling. So that's gonna be the upper limit of this resistance. So I believe that we are going to have a lot of trouble breaking it to the upside. So what I expect to happen in the start of next week, if we break this trend line to the upside, is that we slowly start moving and testing this upper resistance level. And if we successfully break this resistance level, that's when we start looking at all-time highs again. But first, we have to break this resistance level right here. So what are the two scenarios for next week? It doesn't like we have when we have these patterns forming, we have to have two scenarios. We have to have a scenario for the upside and we have to have a scenario for the downside. Like I can't sit here and tell you exactly that this triangle pattern right here, it is gonna break to the upside and we're gonna look at an all-time high next week. It's gonna be Thursday, 12 o'clock. That's when we hit $3.87. Like I can't tell you that. I can give you two scenarios, one for the downside, one for the upside, and that's when you know what to look for if these things happen. So if we break to the upside, look for us to have trouble at breaking $2.70 and $2.80. That is the zone that is going to be hard to break. If we break that one, we are going to start to look at all-time highs again. If we break to the downside, look for support around 205, 210. So if you enjoyed this video, please consider liking and subscribing. That helps me out massively. Thank you.